About my weekly analysis for the next week on gold. So let's talk about that. If you saw, I did not posted my last weekly analysis. I was sick, so I could not record the weekly analysis, but this one I will record. So let's talk about where I think the market will go in the next week, and I will basically give you my bearish plan and bullish plan. So let's talk about that. So in the last week we broke structure to the downside. Here we had this huge red candle to the downside, and here we broke structure to the downside. So here my plans are very simple. So here we have this key level, and we have also this other key level. We also have this inverse fair value gap. So with these key levels, my plan is very simple. So my bullish plan is that we go lower again to mitigate this bullish fair value gap, and then start going higher again. So my first bullish plan is like this. So here we don't need to mitigate again. We mitigated already 3 times. So here we do not have the needs to mitigate again. But here, if you want to have a continuation higher, we need to invert this bearish fair value gap. Here we also have this inverse fair value gap. Now is a bearish fair value gap. So here, if you want to go higher and if you want to make another all-time high, we must break this bearish fair value gap. So here we can just react from here, but then when we mitigate this gap, we can just respect and go lower again. And if you want a bullish week, we need to inverse this gap. If we see a rejection here, we can expect more downside in the next days. So this is my bullish plan. Reaction here, then we inverse this gap. And if we inverse this gap, I think that we'll see a new all-time high. Maybe not in the next week, but in the other weeks. So inverse here, and then we'll go higher. My bearish plan is that we have a little bit of a reaction here, then we mitigate this gap, and then we go lower again. And here, if you want to see a bullish continuation, this level must hold. If we see something like this, a bearish retest here, and then if we lose this gap, I will expect a continuation lower, and maybe the top is in. So if you want to see bullish continuation, this level must hold, and but we might see something like this. We might see uh, a sweep here, but then we have a candle closure above this gap. If we have a candle closure below this gap, in my opinion, we are bearish for the next days and weeks. But we can see just a week sweeping this low with the candle closure inside of this gap. And if I see a sweep with just a week respecting this gap, I will expect a continuation higher, but then we only go higher if we inverse this bearish PD array. So this is my plan. My bullish plan is that we sweep here, respect this gap, and then go higher and inverse this gap. My other plan is that we react right from here after these 3 mitigations, and then we inverse this gap. And my bearish plan is that we have here a little bit of a reaction, then we mitigate this bearish PD array, maybe we also mitigate this inverse road gap, and then go lower again. And as I said before, if you lose this gap, I will expect a continuation lower. So here we might see a candle closure below after this bearish retest. If we see a candle closure inside, we might then react from here. But this is my bearish plan: is that we react here in the bearish way, and in my bullish plans is that we react here, but then we inverse this gap, and then maybe a new all-time high. So this is my plans for the next week. So if you liked the video and learned something with me, like and subscribe. And tomorrow I'll be back for another trading recap. Tomorrow I will trade the London session. So if you want to see the video, wait for tomorrow. So like and subscribe, and see you soon.